And these two just talking, going back and forth. Hold on! Nose to nose! Eye to eye!
These are the worst betrayals in NBA history. Starting with the betrayal that lost LeBron James a championship. It all started in the 2013 matchup between the Cavs and the Heat, when after the game, LeBron decided to shock Kyrie Irving. And when Kyrie heard this, he straight up told the organization, "We don't need that. What's he talking about?" And just like that, Kyrie's resentment for LeBron started. From day one, their partnership was a ticking time bomb.
Kyrie, question for you, since you obviously were here with Cleveland first, what does it mean to you to be able to come out here? Second. Okay, let's get that straight.
I was here first.
There you go.
And then I came back, but don't worry about it. Go ahead, keep going.
But 2 years later, their world was about to flip upside down. After losing to the Warriors in 2014, the Cavs made the NBA Finals for the second straight year. Against who? The 73-9 Golden State Warriors. And it didn't take long before they found themselves down 3-1. Only this time, they shocked the world. The series would come down to a single game. Scratch that, the final 2 minutes. 2 minutes to win an NBA championship. Little did people know, the entire city of Cleveland got goosebumps.
Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
But the job wasn't finished. With a minute remaining, the score was still tied at 89, and Tyronn Lue knew he couldn't go back to LeBron.
So I'm looking like, I'm going to Kyrie.
So instead, the entire weight of the world rested on one man's shoulders, Kyrie Irving.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by 3.
Let that sink in for a second. These two stars just brought Cleveland their first ever championship. You'd think that'd be enough to keep Kyrie satisfied for years. I mean, Savannah certainly seems satisfied.
I think LeBron James is the baddest Mom.
But in 2017, the Warriors got the revenge in just 5 games. That's when, out of the blue, Kyrie decided he had enough.
I heard that Kyrie wanted to be traded. I had a ton of emotions. I was wondering if something I could have did better to make him not want to be traded. Is it the way that the season finished, or was it me coming back in the first place?
Sheesh, no one saw that one coming, especially LeBron. So when the Cavs started struggling in 2018, nobody was happier than Kyrie. During one game, LeBron was feeling particularly fed up. This was all Kyrie needed to put a smile on his face. But LeBron isn't one to give up that easy. Despite finishing 4th in the Eastern Conference, LeBron was on a revenge tour. Because in the Eastern Conference Finals, LeBron found himself against an old friend, Kyrie's Celtics versus LeBron's Cavs. Win and make it into the NBA Finals. Better yet, the series all boiled down to a pivotal Game 7. That's when LeBron said, F Boston.
5 on the 24. James drives, gets in the paint. Falling away is up and good. There are a couple of heavyweights going at it. Mark James just overpowers, though.
And that led to the double and the easy cut.
James for 3. That's good. Well, tipped and taken by James. Here comes James in the open floor. James grab from behind. Count it. Goaltend and 1.
35 points, 15 rebounds, and 9 assists? Bro made that shit personal. And it was at this moment that Kyrie realized he had made a huge mistake. It was time to swallow his pride and offer LeBron an apology.
I had to call Bron, and tell him, I apologize for being that young player that wanted to everything at his fingertips, and I wanted everything to be at, my threshold. I wanted to be the guy that led us to championship. I wanted to be the leader. I wanted to be all that, and the responsibility of being the best player in the world and leading a team is something that's not meant for many people. And Bron was one of those guys that came to Cleveland and tried to really show us what it's like to win a championship, and it was hard for him.
This whole time, Kyrie wanted to be the leader, but now that he's finally got his wish, everything changed. But then, in October 2020, Kyrie did something no one saw coming.
I felt like I was the best option on every team I played for, down the stretch.
Hold up, was Kyrie saying LeBron couldn't make clutch shots? So you already know, King James took these comments personally.
I was a little like damn.
Yeah.
It kind of hurt me a little bit.
And it wouldn't take long before LeBron responded with some shade of his own. During the finals press conference, a reporter asked him why his relationship with Anthony Davis was so smooth.
we're not jealous of each other. In professional sports, you have guys that join forces. Two, you call them alpha males. That's what they call them. Two guys that's been dominant in a specific sport on their own respective teams. And they get together and they talk about, okay, how dominant they can be, and they talk about this is going to be this and that. I believe jealousy creeps in a lot. And that is the absolute contrary of what we are.
But in the time since, things have taken a full 180. Because in 2022, Kyrie requested a trade from Brooklyn. And you'll never guess which team was on the top of his list. The Los Angeles Lakers. Yes, LeBron's Lakers. It appears these two are back to being best bros. But what about Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook? They once seemed inseparable. Because in 2012, OKC was on the precipice of greatness. Despite falling short in the NBA Finals, OKC was on the verge of becoming one of the greatest organically built teams in NBA history. Their top three players, KD, Westbrook, and James Harden, were all future league MVPs. But then, that's when it all changed. The 2012-13 season witnessed the departure of James Harden to the Rockets. And not only that, but fans were also about to get hit with something else.
Going to block the shot, he used to go to the front of the rim, pick up that garbage.
And then Westbrook hobbling away.
Beverly went for the steal just as the timeout was called, and he actually got
a season-ending injury in the postseason? Oh, come on, Patrick Beverly. That's cheap, dog. But as long as OKC's core can stay healthy, this was merely a setback. Stay fully healthy, and a championship is in their future. Easier said than done. The next season, they lost their third best player, Serge Ibaka, to injury. First Russ, now Serge? This has bad news bears written all over it. But it turns out the drop-off was even steeper than expected. A year later, every fan's worst nightmare came true. Durant suffered a Jones fracture injury, and OKC would miss the postseason entirely. But in 2016, it was time for redemption. Loaded with a fully healthy Durant and Westbrook, fans hoped this year would be different. Despite only winning 55 games in the regular season, OKC eliminated the Spurs to reach the Western Conference Finals. They found themselves against the 73-9 Warriors. It wasn't an easy task, but OKC took a commanding 3-1 lead. Yet, that was before they suffered one of the biggest collapses in NBA history.
It seems like he just is not comfortable. Thompson, yes. Now he pulls it back. Thompson wide open for three. From beyond that three-point line, here is Thompson, who's been on fire, and he hits
And the ball slows down.
All right, here is Thompson again. Klay Thompson has given the Warriors a 1-point lead. Went and knocked it down. A long three for Thompson, and again it is Iguodala. Thompson fires for three, yes!
3 straight losses later, their season was over. This left them with only one logical choice: run it back. Or at least it should have been that simple. Then July 4th, 2016 came. That was the day KD changed the NBA for good. He was leaving OKC to join the team that just beat him.
You depart for the team that beat you when you're on the cusp of getting to the finals yourself, or ultimately winning the championship for the franchise that you've been with since you've come into the NBA. I think it's incredibly weak.
But it wasn't the move itself that rubbed Russell Westbrook the wrong way.
Kevin Durant had dinner with Russell Westbrook, Nick Collison, I think Royal Ivy, but I'm not sure, and literally looked Russell Westbrook in the face and told him, I'm not leaving, I'm staying. And then went to the Hamptons and announced that he was going to Golden State. He didn't pick up the phone thereafter and call Russell Westbrook. He texted him. Never even called.
And with KD stabbing Westbrook in the back, things got really awkward. And I mean really awkward. Avoiding each other before the All-Star game is one thing, but fans needed to know, were Westbrook and KD still on talking terms?
KD on speaking terms? Nah.
And on the 22nd of November 2017, Westbrook and Durant would finally get a chance to squash the beef.
They lob it into Durant. Too strong. That's 10 turnovers for Golden State. He's saying no one went. Bad pass stolen by Westbrook. Here he goes.
It was only a matter of time before these two would come face to face and within spitting range.
Saying no. The official's going to have to step in sooner or later. as these former star teammates jawing at each other.
Kevin Durant went back on his word, and it cost him a friend. But once you cross someone once, it starts to get easier and easier, especially when they are no longer your friend.
Let's start off with something really, really good. Top 5 players you ever played with all time. Now, I just want to remind you before you answer this, right? You played with some really good fucking players, and somebody's going to get left out.
Kyrie, James, Steph, Clay. I'm gonna go Serge Ibaka.
Damn. This dude acted like Brody never existed. That should have been enough to send Westbrook off the deep end. That said, Russ, the guy who everyone claims is bad for the locker room, decided to be the bigger man. He didn't drag KD's name through the mud. Rather, he decided to focus on his game and keep personal things personal. And when a player like that takes a high road, that's when the real reconciliation starts to begin.
Durant chopping it up with his old teammate Russell Westbrook. And the players exchanging some hugs and conversation post-game.
Here's to hoping their friendship is half of what it used to be. But ironically, KD's troubles were still far from behind him. Now on the Warriors, he had a new problem in front of him. His name, Draymond Green, which really shouldn't be a surprise, except it is, especially when you consider this.
After they lost, after all the drama in the locker room, first call was to Bob Myers, and he was like, yo, you gotta get KD. Get KD, let's do it. And I'm sure Bob Myers was like, hey, great idea, Draymond. And then he said, the next thing I did, I hung out with Bob, and I contacted KD, and we didn't get much further than that. But, you know, right after the game, he's like, let's go.
This bro literally wanted one thing and one thing only, KD. And now that he had it, it seemed like a fairy tale. After winning back-to-back championships with the Warriors, many fans thought Durant would accept his player option for the 2019-20 season. But in the 365 days leading up to his decision, everything you thought you knew went out the window.
Y'all come here every day, ask me about free agency, ask my teammates, my coaches, you rile up the fans about it. Y'all let us play basketball. That's all I'm saying. And now when I don't want to talk to y'all, it's a problem with me. Come on, man. Grow up. Grow up. Yeah, you grow up.
Kevin, the free agency thing really hadn't been that much of a discussion coming to you because we got it loud and clear, at least most of us should have, that it was off limits. Don't go
what's
there.
the problem now?
No, just that you've been quiet and you're not usually quiet. You usually share your opinions and stuff. So everybody's like trying to figure out what's going on, and we're all getting questions from fans like, what's wrong with Kevin? I just tell them he's playing okay, but he's not talking right now.
I just don't trust none of y'all. Every time I say something, it's get twisted up and thrown out in so many different publications, try to tear me down with my words that I say. So when I don't say nothing, it's a problem.
Now, it's no longer affecting KD, it was affecting his teammates, none more than Draymond Green. This became evident in a tightly contested battle between the Warriors and Clippers. The Warriors held their own destiny. The score was tied at 106 apiece, and Green was dribbling up court. Best believe KD wanted the ball. Instead, this happened.
But they don't. It will go to overtime, which is still a win for the Warriors, but you would have loved to have had a shot to win the game.
Normally, you could call KD selfish, but this isn't just another player. This is one of the greatest scorers on the planet. So when Green's shot got knocked away, KD let him hear it. This wasn't a good look for the Warriors, and most importantly, this wasn't helping their chances in the offseason. In the heat of the moment, Draymond said some things he shouldn't have. This included phrases such as, I won before you came, I already know you got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and just for good measure, he also called Durant the B word, any diva's worst nightmare. So the Warriors did what any worried parent would. They asked him to apologize.
And I told them, I'll talk to Kay, but y'all aren't going to tell me what I need to say. And, you know, they went on for an hour and 45 minutes saying a bunch of bullshit. And ultimately, they realized, all right, we're not getting through to him. We're going to try again in the morning. And so we met the next morning, and they said, all right, you slept on it. You ready to apologize? And I told them right then and there, I said, y'all about to f this up. I said, the only person that can make this right is me and Kay. And there's nothing that y'all can do, and y'all are going to fuck this up. And in my opinion, they fucked it up.
I think so too.
After not receiving the answer they wanted, the Warriors suspended Draymond for a full game for conduct detrimental to the team. But unfortunately, nothing could prevent what KD was already feeling.
So, man, then he started coming off the top with all of that stuff, and I'm just thinking, I'm like, Draymond is actually my friend. Like, somebody I can call when I'm going through anything. Like, yo, bro,
great dude.
Come through. Like,
great
damn,
dude.
bro, let's hang out tonight. Like,
And for him to say that type of shit to me, it just threw me for a loop. And it was just really, I just started isolating myself after that because I didn't feel like, you know, they suspended Draymond, but it was just like, they had to so it won't look bad to everybody else.
And once KD went into isolation mode, it was all but over. It was time for KD to leave one super team in hopes of starting another in Brooklyn. One can only think what could have been if he stayed, especially after his interview with First Take.
Did that play a role in you leaving Golden State?
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
Nevertheless, the two stayed in touch after the incident, and Draymond even invited KD to his wedding. But don't act surprised, the Slim Reaper was a no-show. This reminds me, MJ and Charles Barkley also used to be friends. So much so that Barkley once considered MJ his closest friend. The pair was inseparable. They may have been opponents on the basketball court, but off the court, they were always playing golf or out gambling together. But one incident changed their friendship forever.
What I said about Michael, I said, I don't know if he's ever going to be successful because of the people around him.
But MJ wasn't taking any of it, especially because of what he said next.
I think he hires too many of his friends, because your friends don't ever tell you no. The hardest thing about being famous is, because you're paying all the bills, they're on your private jet, they're not gonna tell you when you're doing something wrong. And I said that I didn't, because he was struggling as a general manager, running the team. And I said, I don't know if he's ever gonna be successful, because the people around him are never gonna tell him no.
The Chuckster called a spade a spade. He warned MJ about hiring his friends. The only problem? He did so on national television. According to Michael, this wasn't constructive feedback. This was a betrayal from a close friend.
John, I'm gonna do my job, because I have zero credibility if I criticize other people in the same boat and not criticize my best friend.
It appeared Charles Barkley was sticking to his guns. That's when he received the call.
He called me, and it wasn't a pleasant conversation, and we haven't spoken since then.
Believe it or not, that phone call was over 10 years ago. So one would think that two best friends could get over their beef. But since then, neither one has tried to mend things.
You think of just picking up the phone and trying to repair this thing with Michael?
He got my number.
It's crazy to think that one conversation could break up an otherwise legendary friendship, but it's a lot crazier to rat out your teammates, especially when that teammate is Shaquille O'Neal. Now, most of us know that Kobe and Shaq had their differences, but I bet you didn't expect those differences to happen in the bedroom. See, it was the summer of 2003, and Kobe was preparing for an upcoming knee surgery. So Kobe went to the lodge and spa at Cordillera Hotel in Eagle, Colorado to ease the pain. That wasn't the only reason Kobe was there, because a few weeks later, one hotel worker spoke out. Her name was Caitlin Faber, and she was just 19 years old. And get this, according to her, she was raped by Kobe the night before the procedure. Not according to Kobe though. He claimed it was consensual. Still, the officers weren't buying it at the time. Their questions were never ending, and Kobe started to get impatient. That's when he said something to authorities no one saw coming. I should have done what Shaq does. Shaq gives mistresses money and buys them cars. Yeah, bro crossed the line. Keep in mind that these two guys were still teammates, so whether Kobe wanted to or not, he knew the right thing to do.
I feel it's right to go up and apologize to the man for bringing him into my situation. You know, I never intended for that to happen, and you know, things were way overblown and misstated.
However, the damage had already been done. Years later, in 2008, Shaq freestyle rapped about the incident at a club in New York.
I'm a horse. Kobe ratted me out. That's why I'm getting divorced.
That's right, this dude literally got a divorce, all because Kobe ratted him out. But life goes on, and so did their friendship. When Kobe died, Shaq even wrote him a eulogy.
The day Kobe gave my respect was, the guys were complaining. Said, Shaq, Kobe's not passing the ball. I said, I'll talk to him. I said, Kobe, there's no I in team. And Kobe said, I know, but there's an in me in that motherfucker.
Although if you think that was crazy, the DeAndre Jordan situation is a whole different level of crazy. In the summer of 2015, Jordan gave the Dallas Mavericks his word that he would leave the Los Angeles Clippers. There was one catch. The deal was first reported on July 3rd, 2015. That was 6 days too soon. This gave the Clippers 6 whole days to change Jordan's mind. And best believe, they were sending the whole army. They were banking on Jordan re-signing with LA. So when he didn't, chaos ensued. Blake Griffin, JJ Redick, Paul Pierce, and Coach Doc Rivers would all fly down to meet DeAndre Jordan at his house in Houston. But the effort didn't stop there. They also blocked off communication between Jordan and Mavericks owner Mark Cuban, as well as the franchise front office. Blake Griffin even posted a tweet of a chair blocking the door of Jordan's house, just to add fuel to the fire. Unlike the Clippers' presence in the postseason, there was no quit in this team.
It was just like, once he was like, yeah, I'm coming back, it was just like free reign to think of whatever you could to just like keep this thing going.
Keep trolling people.
They did everything in their power to retain him. This put the Mavericks in a massive dilemma. They were verbally tied to Jordan for a full 5 days before the heat of free agency. If DeAndre Jordan changed his mind, that would tank their whole season. They wouldn't be able to sign any other noteworthy free agent. That's when a decision was finally made. The fate of 2 franchises came down to a guy from a State Farm commercial. That's when Paul Pierce sent this. It was official. From the time Jordan announced his deal with the Mavericks to the time he re-signed with the Clippers, his teammates never left his sight. However, that's when DeAndre Jordan realized he made a terrible mistake. He screwed over the entire city of Dallas. That's when Mark Cuban said this.
You know, sometimes the deals you don't do are the best ones, so we'll see.
In the end, it seems there's no love lost between Jordan and Mark Cuban. But not all beefs are recoverable, because when a girl's involved, you already know it's about to get real. In 2015, Nick Young made one of the biggest mistakes a man could make. He cheated on his then-girlfriend Iggy Azalea. That same year, the Lakers selected D'Angelo Russell with the 2nd overall pick, and the situation was about to get a whole lot messier. One day, D'Lo was having a conversation with Young. When Swaggy P finally confessed he had cheated on Australian rapper Iggy Azalea, little did he know, D'Lo was secretly recording the entire conversation.
The youngest bitch? Right now? Yeah. How old was you? What you like? You was 30, she was 19? Hell no. What about Amber Rose? You ain't never tried? Huh? She know your girl. I'm glad you told my video all that.
Young was engaged to Azalea. The two were set to get married, but once the video leaked, there was no coming back. And if you thought D'Lo was going to get off easy for snitching, guess again. When push came to shove, the entire team turned against him.
Because I remember, like, around that time, he would, like, put his hand up for a high five and no one would give you, like, slap his own hand. Because was the whole team sort of upset with him over that shit?
Yeah. It was a lot. People wasn't talking to him. It was a lot.
This goes to show one incident or one decision can make a world of difference. And you know what will make an even bigger difference? Clicking the video on the screen. So go ahead and click the video. Otherwise, don't be surprised if your favorite player betrays you.